broke my hip?
You're not like other 30-year-olds now.
I'm 28.
This is Antonina. She is physical therapy bad girl.
Do you think I could go to a solo room? Because she and I are like at vastly different stages of development. Hey!
Wariatka.
Excuse your tone.
Antonina, wait up! Is there someone that we should tell that you're street walking or street walkering?
Hey.
She's staying here for the night.
Is your grandma?
No. I wasn't gonna leave her on the street.
You gonna give it back?
She's not a puppy.
You know she would have been safe if you did nothing.
Well, I did something and she was safe too. I'm sorry, I was just trying to take care of her.
Do you have a job?
Oh,
Please. I'm desperate.
oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, totally. It's gonna be fun!
I loved the idea of late bloomers, and I'm actually going to ask you a question that I normally reserve for the end, but we're going to bring it up to the beginning because I was like, I felt a little bamboozled by this movie.
Bamboozled?
Right.
So now you're going to bamboozle us.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's a millennial kind of moving through life, and then she's going to learn these life lessons, and through kind of going through this experience that puts her in a different stage of life. So she kind of has to consider a different perspective. What I wasn't expecting was the dementia part of it and the dealing with her mother, which is something that I have intimate experience with.
Oh.
So I was like, why are they doing this to me? What's going on? But it was so well done, and there was so much just kind of truth to it. So I wanted to ask Anna, the screenwriter specifically, but then also, you know, Lisa and I wanted to get Karen's perspective about what conversations do you want this film to kind of start when people talk about it?
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm really sorry that you have such a close relationship with dementia. It's a horrible, horrible disease. And this is honestly a great conversation to start here. Like, that means so much to me that I don't want you to be devastated by anything. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't have known that about you. And now you know about me, that my mom had dementia and died from it. And so that's one of the conversations, is literally just these things that we privately deal with that are really hard to share. Right. But then when you open it up, you realize that so many people have been affected by something that you've been affected by, and it feels like maybe a little bit less isolating. Mm-hmm. I also wanted the conversations to be about not, 'cause Lisa says it better, but not being ready to be a caregiver and being, you know, maybe at a difficult point in your life when that's thrust upon you, and not rising to the occasion, not being the hero of the story. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you recover from that, which I do believe in people's potential, including my own, I feel like I wasn't ready for my mom to be sick. I wasn't ready to be mothering her. And I fumbled a lot for a lot of years trying to figure out how to do it, also being in denial about it, not wanting to do it. And so wanting to start a conversation about, like, it's okay to be a mess. When something bad happens to your life, it doesn't automatically make you a saint.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like there's like a lot of talk about that, about not looking good when you're trying to do good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa, just kind of building on that, when you were kind of just putting together the view of what you wanted to portray, when you were kind of putting this together, because like I said, it is kind of a story wrapped within a story. Mm-hmm. What was your idea in terms of revealing kind of the secondary nature of the story?
I mean, we talk about how there's a lot of humor there as well, and like, despite the fact that it is devastating and, you know, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever go through, there are these moments of humor. And I feel like I experienced that like secondhand because my grandmother had it, and, you know, we like laughed about things as a family about certain things that happened, but like, you know, you don't really outwardly talk about that. And the fact that Anna was so able to be open about, you know, putting diapers on and like these experiences made me feel like I could laugh about it too. And I think, we want people to feel like they can relate and that they feel seen by this, but they also can, find the humor in it as well.
Where do you find the balance between needing to portray someone who is kind of selfish, but like I said, kind of needing also to hide that it is for good reason?
Gosh, I was about to say that I spoke to Anna a lot and then realized that sounds like I'm calling her selfish, which she's not.
was.
You're so selfless as a person.
That's true, not true, but I think it's real that, like, I think when my mom was sick, I was never so much on my phone. Like, you're looking for distractions, you're looking for ways to get out of there. I was looking for ways to disconnect and detach.
And I think that's completely understandable, and I don't judge that at all. Like, from my perspective, this character was just coping, and that's all any of us are really doing in this life. We're trying to feel safe, we're trying to cope with everything, and she may have gone about that in a slightly selfish manner at points, but I think ultimately she overcame that and was able to become more of a caregiver and do the best that she could. And I think that's all we can expect from anyone.
It's easy to write somebody off and judge them at first. And I think that's kind of what you created at the outset. We're kind of like, oh, okay, this is a story about this. And it's nice to be surprised.
I feel like I had the privilege of making this movie that's sort of based on my friend who I love, and I've seen her do these things that she sees as messing up or whatever, but I knew I loved her through the whole thing, so I could make this character redeemable in the end with all
Right.
this.
Lisa was like the real angel, being like, you think that she's such a bad person? And I was like, yeah, she's just horrible. She says horrible things. But Lisa found like the love and compassion for this person that I sometimes found hard to find.
Karen, was there anything about Louise that wasn't necessarily in the script that you found that you were able to kind of put into her? Maybe it was a mannerism or,
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a few of my cheeky mannerisms in there.
Yeah.
I mean, so normally when I'm playing roles, I've found myself in this position of trying to suppress a lot of my natural instincts because I feel that they're slightly too weird or something. I might just be judging myself. I'm like, oh, that's not how like a normal person would behave. But actually that's not true because humans are so weird. And we do weird things all day long. And so with this role, I really wanted to sort of unleash it all. So I was able to, this role is closer to myself than a lot of roles that I have played. There's some weird stuff in there. There's a weird noise that I make before I kiss a character. And that happened when I first kissed my husband. So there's a lot of me in this role.
Yeah, that's straight from Karen's life.
Yeah.
What a noise.
When kind of putting the movie together, Lisa, when you were, you said that, you kind of wanted to help tell Anna's story. What was it specifically that you wanted to say when you were like, this is a story that I want to tell? What was it about the story that you said, this is something that kind of needs to be out there?
I mean, I think it is how Anna writes such honest characters. Like, she doesn't sugarcoat their behavior or anything, and it's a scary thing, and it's vulnerable to put that out there, to put what you think are your flawed qualities out there. But my hope is then that people will watch it and see things that they see in themselves and see that this character is still sweet and means well and is trying her best, and feel that about themselves too.
All right, Anna, I want to talk to you about, there is this wonderful kind of juxtaposition in terms of bringing in the character of Antonina. And so we see Louise basically attempting to make amends in a way. We know her mother has kind of lost her ability to speak and ability to communicate. And in juxtaposition to that, we see her attempting to communicate with Antonina.
Yeah.
And attempting to try and understand and try to help and try to figure out, what she did so that, to make it right, essentially. Tell me, does that kind of come from a personal experience, or was that something that, you wish could have happened? Tell me about kind of writing that into the script.
I think that is more of a wish could have happened. I feel like that was my relationship with my mom, actually, was I was trying to be a good caregiver to her at a point where I hadn't learned any of the skills. And so it was nice to give Louise, the character, a buffer to watch her be with somebody else and learning what she needs to learn, so that you can feel when she goes to her mom that she's in a better place. And there's like stuff about in the past, like she wasn't in a good place and had that with her mom. But I did feel like, yeah, I think I wish that I had a sort of a relationship either with my mom or with another woman where I did a better job. And, you know, with scripts, you get to write what you wish. And yet Louise makes big mistakes too, which feels important. It shouldn't just be like, you know, you learn from somebody older than you and it's all magical because they have wisdom and you don't. I didn't want to glorify that relationship. I didn't want it to be like, she teaches her to have fun and she teaches her to have dance. Like, you know, like that felt wrong. Even though they do dance in it and they do have fun. But just like having that fictional part of the script being like, yeah, what if you got to have a do-over relationship with somebody where you did it better?
Lisa, there's so much in terms of the way that this is put together, in terms of the timing. There's something about, there's a friend at the beginning where he says, you know, oh, it's been a year and you should really be over this relationship. But then we also learned that it's been about a year since the incident with the mom. And this has happened at a time where she probably needed him the most. And, you know, it's not something she could put on her. And so I love the idea of the pacing within this, because we're kind of getting it from Louise's point of view, but we're also seeing it from these outside characters who are like, why aren't you over this yet? Why aren't you, you know, kind of getting through this? Was that a part of kind of your thought process when you were plotting this together, or when you were kind of putting this together?
Yeah, I think in terms of the pacing of the editing, for sure. Also in terms of just like how slowly these two people move. Like they're both, you know, have some sort of hindrance where they're moving very slowly, and I kind of think that Louise met someone that lets her move as slowly as she wants to, and that is kind of nice. So I definitely wanted to highlight like, and even like some pauses and some silences. Like I wanted to let those moments breathe, because it is a movie about not having to rush through everything.
Yeah, I think also grief is not linear. Yeah. Like, you know, and I think it's very unfair when we sometimes expect people to get over things in a certain amount of time. It just doesn't work like that. You might be good one day and then right back to the beginning the next day. So Lisa really like delved into that too.
Karen, my dear.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about working with Jermaine Fowler.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely adore him. He is such an exciting talent, very up and coming, and I love to see him pop up in things. He had such an interesting character in here, and the way that you two play off of each other is just electric. So tell me just kind of about your experience working with him.
I loved working with him. He's such a talented actor and also one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I just remember laughing off screen the entire time with him at all kinds of different things. I'm now getting a flashback actually. I was in Australia probably a year after we made this film in a little like apartment complex, random place in Melbourne, Australia, and I was in Australia and I'm a very pale person, so I like had my hat, like SPF hat on, gloves. I looked like a crazy person, and I walked into the gym and he was there in the gym.
Oh my God.
Like, Jermaine. And he was like, are you okay?
I would watch them between takes. I'd be really far away, and they were doing jokes and stuff and laughing, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. Like, I wanted to be in their friendship so badly, and I felt like that really came through, like, on screen. There's also, like, he did, like, a pratfall doing that, and he was amazing, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't, we were not expecting that. He just he went for it. And
Yeah,
I mean, he
he's
made it to the movie.
Truly the best. Yeah.
Yeah, so talented and a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
Well, I did want to actually ask about the moments of humor, because within this kind of very heavy movie dealing with these very heavy themes, we do have a lot of moments of humor, and I think it's so important to talk about those things, because you can be dealing with very intense grief, very intense sadness, very intense emotions, and just need to laugh about something.
Yeah.
And I think no scene said it better than the attempt at intimacy towards the end. I thought it made me laugh so much, because even without having a broken hip, I understand the idea of like, look, I just gotta make this work, and be like, okay, like, fine, what are we gonna, 50-50, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Tell me, Anna, tell me about kind of that scene, how it came to be, and just the therapy of it all.
That was actually the first scene I ever wrote of that movie, because
Really?
I was imagining I hadn't had sex for so long, and then I broke my hip, and then I was like,
God.
I'll never again, will I? And then I was just imagining what it would be like to try to do that with a broken hip, and how unappealing that would be to like a young guy my age, just be like, come on,
Right.
I can do it. So that made me laugh, and I think you're right about laughter, especially through hard stuff, is so cathartic. It's like especially a big release. Otherwise, you're crying, right? And so there was a lot of trying to make myself laugh writing it, because I do think that's just an important part of life, but also because I wanted the audience to not be put through a punishing time, like I wanted them to feel all the feelings as opposed to just, being upset.
Karen, tell me about.
How was it to do it? Yes. One of the funniest days of my life, I think. I mean, sex scenes in general have a certain level of awkwardness to them, but having a broken hip really took away the awkwardness. I felt like I had license to be maybe the least sexy thing on the planet.
Yeah.
And that kind of took the pressure off, and I was able to really just like let myself go and be in all of these unflattering positions and saying things that are just not sexual.
Yeah.
It was freeing, actually. My favorite sex scene I've ever done.
Well, there we go. I love that.
We also had to do like stage combat, or shows how much I'm from theater.
Stage combat.
Whatever. What's it called in movies?
Stunts.
Yeah, we had to do stunt coordinating for your headbutt.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Wait, luckily our intimacy coordinator was also a stunt coordinator.
Oh,
so
right.
There you
she
go.
was able to cover both.
Yeah, that's
things.
true.
That's fantastic. Well, let me know. So, if you had to describe your movie in just 3 words, we're going to do that thing, I know. So start thinking, get those wheels a-turning. We're going to start with you, Karen.
Yes,
I know we're putting you on the spot.
Oh, no. Well, at least I have my pick of all the words.
Right, exactly.
I feel like I'm going to be really generic here. Be interesting. Heartfelt. That's not interesting, is it? But it's true. It's heartfelt. Hilarious. Can I think of another H? And happy.
Hoppy.
That's actually very
Hoppy.
Because I'm happy.
fantastic. Lisa?
Oh, so it doesn't have to be like a sentence, like a 3-word sentence.
Just 3 words.
Oh, bad.
She's like, this is great.
I was gonna say it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Blooming.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's a more interesting
There you
word.
Crying.
Yeah.
And learning.
Like
Yours
it.
are action words. I
Those
like
are
that.
good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it didn't have to be
Yeah,
INGs.
I think
put
that's
myself
awesome.
In
Yeah. Okay. Time bending.
Okay.
Type in it.
I like it.
Not even right.
It's a time travel movie.
yeah.
I get that.
Timeless.
Timeless. Okay. Timeless is one of mine.
Okay,
It's my
yeah.
first one.
There we go.
Okay. Second one is love, and third one is love.
There you go.
Extra love.
Extra
Right?
love. Yeah.
Well, you said one earlier, which was cathartic. And
Yeah.
how has this
Yeah.
Thank you
experience
for
been
giving.
cathartic for you? Yeah.
Yes. Mine are timeless, cathartic, and love.
There we go. Well, thank you, ladies,
Thank
so
you.
much.